Howdy, folks. I'm Brian.
I'm Amber.
And here's our blanket fort. And happy Friday, Junior, to those who are watching on Thursday. And here's some Reddit. Our first story. Oh, wait. Before we begin, I just want to make an announcement. I am drinking actual, real tea. You can't see it from there, but you can see there is a slight color as opposed to the other days. Maybe you can't even tell. It's actually a yellow tea. It's a licorice spice. So
yeah, it is legit.
It's a legit actual tea this time. I'm out of my favorite tea, but I usually don't drink caffeinated tea in the night anyway, so let's get started. Our first story is titled, Am I a Jerk for Going Home Because My Girlfriend Wanted Me to Eat Leftovers? So I'm a 25-year-old male and I have a 26-year-old female, and I have a 26-year-old female. I have a 26-year-old female girlfriend, have separate places, but she always wants me to come over and stay with her. I do most of the time, even though my place is actually closer to where my job is. When I was getting off work, she called me and asked me to come over, and I asked her what she had cooked. She said she hadn't made anything and was too tired to cook, but she had some leftovers. Frowny face. Wow. I said, never mind, don't worry about it. I'm just gonna head home. And then she got mad and said, oh, so you'll only come over because I cook for you? You don't want to spend time with me? And I said, I do, but I'm hungry, and my place is closer. I don't want to waste gas and money driving all the way over just to eat some leftovers, because there's no other reason you would go over to your significant other's house.
Yeah, literally no other reason.
Literally no other reason.
Not to spend time with them or anything, just for a home-cooked meal.
No reason. None. Am I right? If I'm going to eat leftovers, I might as well just do it at my place. No need to spend time with people. And I did. But then she kept sending me screenshots of her group chat bashing me. Well, that might be a little immature. Those are her friends, so I'm not taking them too seriously. But I want to hear what you guys think, objectively.
You're the jerk.
All right, OP, objectively.
Objectively, you're the jerk.
You're the jerk. You shouldn't just, if you're going to go over to your girlfriend's house to spend time with her, go over to her house and spend time with her. There's more reasons than just her cooking you a fresh meal to spend time with her.
Yeah, when you say the entire way this is phrased, it sounds like all you value is her cooking. It sounds like there's nothing valuable you get out of the relationship. You don't enjoy her time or anything. You're literally just there for the food.
Yeah. I'm not going to waste any gas money to see this person.
Right. Just imagine, someone sending you that message and that's going to so you don't actually want to see me? You just want my food?
Yeah. I am guessing you now have a former girlfriend. This is really honestly not the best way of handling the situation. I mean, he's certainly the jerk here. And I think sending screenshots over to him with her. Well, I mean, I guess if she was just doing it to show him basically that everyone thinks that he's in the wrong here. That might have been why she was doing it. But
that's my guess.
The way he has it phrased here is it makes it sound like she was holding it over his head or something like that. So I don't know. I'm guessing now that I'm kind of thinking about this more, it's just that she was looking for affirmation from her friends.
Which again, this may not be the best way to go about it, but yeah, he's definitely in the wrong here, and it's perfectly reasonable to want confirmation that, oh, hey, yeah, there is something wrong here.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm
just going to get a sip of tea first. Some actual real tea. If you haven't ever tried licorice spice from Stash, I suggest you do it. Amber likes a lot of David's tea.
I do.
So, but this isn't David's tea.
No, it's not. Our next story is, am I the jerk for stealing my sister's baby's name? Mindy is my fraternal twin, and I swear that her life has always been easy. I don't resent her for that, but she has expected things to almost always go her way. Mindy is pregnant with baby 3. She has 2 sons, Ryan and Dave, who are named after her husband's grandfather and father. She's having a girl and is ecstatic. They planned on keeping their name a secret until the birth. After an awful year, my fiancée Amy surprised me with a cat. She had planned on surprising me over the holidays, but a lot of shelters were tapped out due to the pandemic adoptions. The shelter had named her Ellie, and I teared up because that was my Nan's nickname. She died 2 years ago, and my life still feels empty without her. Ellie's sweet demeanor and loving spirit made me feel as if she were a gift sent by Nan herself. We decided to keep the name as it was as a tribute to her, which Amy thought was sweet, and that Ellie was perfect. I don't use social media much, but I decided to post a picture of Ellie snuggled up between Amy and I as a way to introduce our fur baby to the family. I wrote a small blurb about how fitting it is that she shares a name with Nan due to her sweetness, posted it, and forgot about it after an hour. Mindy called me yesterday and started screaming at me for being a coward and ignoring her. Turns out she planned on naming her daughter Eileen after our Nan and having everyone call her Ellie. Apparently, she unleashed her fury on my private post and berated me for not responding later in the night. I was in no mood and hung up on her instead of stooping to her level. She wouldn't stop calling me, so I texted her to chill out, and until then I blocked her and her husband because he started on me after blocking her. When Amy came home, she showed me all the awful things that Mindy had texted her. I did my best to calm her down, and Amy went to take a hot bath. I called my mom. Sadly, I knew that she wouldn't listen to me. She told me that she knows I was close to Nan, but the name is better suited for a baby. I told her that's ridiculous. She said Mindy is hormonal from pregnancy and to be a good sister. I snapped and asked her where Mindy's compassion was when I learned that I could never carry my own child. I called her up crying that day, and she brushed me off, saying I was being overly dramatic. I asked her if she knew what a hysterectomy was. She went quiet. We didn't speak again until after I had recovered from the surgery and tried to act like nothing happened. I still resent her for this. My mom told me to grow up, that this name was important to Mindy. I swung low and asked her where Mindy was when Nan died. In Vegas with her friends, even though she was told Nan wouldn't survive the weekend. Mindy wanted the name for the glory. I love Nan, and I won't rename my fur baby. Mom called me a selfish little jerk, hung up, and blocked me. I feel so crazy. Amy and my dad seem to be the only people on my side. Am I the jerk? No.
Well, first off, I want to know why all these cats are reincarnating into people. Well, why all these people are reincarnating into cats. So, yeah, no. I mean, I think that this is a little... Well, the thing is, names are one of those things that once someone has a name, it's just impossible for someone else to name them after something else.
Or that even coincidentally, two names will be the same.
Yeah, I mean, it's just impossible. Like, there are no other Brians out there. And it's just, I was lucky. I got that name. And
Brian most certainly did not have a dog named Amber who died during the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
Yeah.
That was what he told me when he met me.
So, yeah, there's a bit of a story behind that, though. It's not just that. It's basically that, but it's not just that. But no, names are of course one of those things that just can't be shared, and people just can't coincidentally have names or anything like that. So
and people couldn't figure out from context whether you're talking about the child Ellie or the cat Ellie.
Yeah. So a hard life, rough life. No, and I mean, like, poor OP here. It seems like poor OP is being, like, beat up pretty badly by a lot of their family members, and, like, the mom isn't taking her side here, and it just seems like not everyone is glued to social media all the time. And I think her sister expected her to be glued to social media, but when she didn't respond, I mean, you would think she would notice that she wasn't responding to anyone.
Yeah.
So, I don't know.
But it's just like, First of all, the sister decided to keep her baby's name a secret. It's not like she had revealed it to OP.
Yeah.
And I still think OP would have had grounds to keep the cat's name because it was the name the cat came with.
Mm-hmm.
But, like, it's not like OP got a cat just for the purpose of using the sister's baby name. The sister had kept quiet about it. She wanted to be surprised.
Yeah.
And then OP's cat happened to have the same name.
Yeah.
I mean, that's...
Yeah. And then on top of that, it seems like she was a lot closer to her Nan than her sister was. And, you know, Mindy in this case doesn't necessarily seem like it seems like from, you know, OP's perspective, Mindy is pretty much like out to name her, you know, after Nan because it's a glorious thing to do.
Right. Well, she's the only one, if it's only the two sisters, she's the only one who can have a biological child to pass on the name to. And so
it's a really sad situation all in all.
It is. I really do feel for OP in the situation. So I think absolutely you're in the right to keep your cat's name Ellie. I think that's a wonderful name for a cat. And it sounds like it's a perfect name for your cat if she's such a really nice, awesome cat.
Yeah. The reincarnation. There is another one about that. If you guys want to stick around to the end, I'll share the story that Amber's talking about. So, all right. Our next letter is titled, "Am I a jerk for telling some of my siblings it would be too awkward if I invited them to my wedding? Not a typical one. I have 2 biological brothers, and I have 3 half-adopted siblings and 1 stepsister. My dad married my adoptive mom when I was a year old, and my brothers were a little older. My dad also adopted 3 of my step-siblings, the 3 half-adopted siblings. I only use specifics so it makes sense. Anyway, when I was 9, my dad and mom died in a car accident, leaving all of us without parents. My stepsister took her biological siblings in, and our grandparents helped her. But they left me and my brothers to go into foster care and did not keep in touch with us. They also did not let us keep in touch with our siblings. When I turned 18, along with my brothers, we reached out to the other siblings, only to be told that it would be too weird and awkward to reconnect after everything. It hurt, I'm not gonna lie. I spent so many years excited to see them again, and they rejected us. Last year, my brothers reconnected with them, but I didn't. They didn't show that much enthusiasm then either, but when I announced my engagement, they got more interested and have since tried. But they have also asked me straight up about inviting them. My reply was that it would be too weird and awkward for them to be there after everything. They did not like my reply. They said that I'm being really unfair to them and that we're still family. Yeah, but I want to know that they care and not that they want a fun day out because they only seem to be invested now after the wedding announcement. Am I the jerk?
No.
What a sad story. I mean, this is such a sad situation where, you know, they were forced to go back into, like, if you would, really, I think that the family should have brought them all in.
Yeah, well, and it's understandable that the stepsister herself couldn't take care of all of them, but, you know, if the grandparents could have stepped up or found some other family members to help place them instead of letting them go into foster care.
Yeah, but then on top of not allowing them to have any kind of communication with their siblings.
Like, even if they couldn't house them, they should have still facilitated communication and been family to them.
Yeah, and what a horrible way of, like, ghosting essentially, you know, your adopted brother siblings.
Yeah.
And like they were still adopted, and so they were still technically family, but I guess it only counts if you're actually blood relatives.
Yeah, well, they've shown that they don't really value OP and OP's brothers, and up until it's something they want, and now all of a sudden they're making a big show of, oh, but we're family.
Yeah. Where was family when they needed them during their time that they were growing up? I mean, they spent, 8 years without their family? So, I don't know. I just think that that's such a sad situation. Well, I guess at least when they were 18. So, because they were in foster care since they were 9. But I don't know how old they are now. but at least 8 years. Or at least 9 years.
Yeah.
I can add. I can do math, really, honestly.
You almost wouldn't believe he has a degree in it.
Yeah, you wouldn't believe that I have 2 degrees in math. I'm a mathematician, not an arithmetician.
I actually used that line the other day. So that's a quote from one of our professors, Bill Halteman, and I actually used that line on one of my TAs the other day when he caught an error in my solution. So it was like,
yeah, we can do other maths, just not that dirty addition.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that's probably a pretty good place to stop on this one.
Yeah, I mean, just to kind of sum up, I think it's absolutely fair not to invite people who haven't shown any interest in being family members to your wedding.
Exactly.
Save the spots for the people who have been there for you.
Exactly. And it might just even be too painful to have them there, and knowing that they were, rejected them up until this very moment.
Yeah. Our last story is, am I the jerk for calling my daughter petty for crying about not being mentioned in my award speech? In the area where I live, I have been part of a professional association for 30 years, ever since I was 26. Every year there is an event where a number of awards are given out. This year the event was held over Zoom, and I was told that I had been nominated for the Lifetime Achievement Award. My daughter, who's 27, decided to get tickets. My ex-wife, 56, also bought tickets because my son, 16, wanted to be there. I was happy they decided to be there. I am obviously on speaking terms with my ex-wife because of our minor son, and the more the merrier. My wife of a year, 30, and our son, 1, of course were always going to be my guests, so they listened in. I honestly didn't expect to win and didn't want to jinx things by preparing a speech, but when the time came, they announced my name. I was ecstatic because this was the highest honor to be given. My wife and son were hugging me, and she kissed me on the cheek. So I started off my speech with that I was sitting here tonight with my beautiful wife and my wonderful son. I said that I'd like to thank them for their support and owe everything I have and continue to do to them. After saying that, I didn't know how to add in anybody else, so I thanked the professional association and ended the speech. Yesterday I was in therapy with my older kids and ex-wife, and my daughter was sullen the whole session, and finally started railing against me for ignoring the 3 of them during my speech, and said that my ex-wife could have been just as successful as me in my profession, given how many ideas she's given me in helping me start my business, and that they were the ones dealing with my late nights and absences and being poor for many years. I explained to all 3 of them that I didn't know I would win, and that I was obviously going to acknowledge the people who were currently beside me, and was tongue-tied. My daughter didn't seem to accept that explanation and continued crying. I finally told her that at this point she's just being petty because of old grudges, and my son stood up and said, "Excuse us for being with you at the starting line." My ex-wife also started crying, and the therapy session ended there. Am I the jerk for thinking that 3 weeks is enough time for them to get over sour grapes over a simple speech?
Oh yeah, no. I mean, I'm completely on board with this guy. I mean, it's just a speech, guy.
Like, how do you forget the rest of your family who were there for you for like 30 years?
Yeah, well, and also I thought it's always fun to point out these relationships where the daughter is 27
and his new wife is 30. She's like 3 years older. Like, yeah, his wife of 1 year and 1-year-old son have definitely been his support system all these 30 years.
Yeah, all these years, all this time, he just couldn't have done it without them who were
there for that one last year.
That one last year.
That was the one that made it all.
Yeah. Like, that did it. That was the icing on the cake.
Like, I certainly don't blame his daughter and his ex-wife and son for feeling snubbed by this when they were with him through a lot of the hard times, it sounds like.
And who doesn't at least think of what they're going to say for a Lifetime Achievement Award?
And how do you forget your literally 2 other children when you only have 3 of them?
Yeah, I mean, such a bad situation here. Like, this guy just needs a reality check. I mean, I'm glad they're in family therapy.
Yeah, it sounds like they need it. And
and it's just so, like, I don't know why he can't possibly see that this is such a horrible thing to do to his family who was there with him.
Right.
Like, just because people aren't in your like immediate exact family doesn't mean that they weren't there during the sacrifices, and like you just don't see why it hurt them. And I think that's the biggest problem here, is that, OP here doesn't understand why this would hurt so much.
Right. Well, and someone in the comments pointed out that they think he just maybe have wanted to show off his new trophy wife type of situation. Because they were there for the messy and rough years when he was actually building things up.
Yeah.
And like the daughter says, they were poor, things weren't glamorous. So now he can show off his glamorous life he has, and he can forget about his starter life.
Yeah. Who needs the old life when you got a new life? I don't know. That's just such a sad situation. Like, I don't know. At least give like a modicum of like thought to the speech that you're going to be, giving potentially. Like, even if you don't know for sure that you're giving a speech, at least think about what you're going to say.
And I find it hard to think that he couldn't even think about his other children at all, like, unless they are so little of his life, like...
Well, I mean, it sounds like he worked all the time, so they may very well have been,
like...
not something that he thought about.
Well, but because he literally had another child right beside him, like... I'm not going to thank the 1-year-old for, like, being such a great support system when I have, like, a 16-year-old and a 27-year-old.
Yeah. I mean, I honestly just don't know. I can understand why they'd be so hurt by this. All right, folks. That's all the time we have for today. Thank you so much for watching. Thanks to Amber for being here.
Thanks for having me.
I mean, it's not even, like, that impressive of a story here. Amber just likes to bring it up because she thinks it's funny.
I do.
So I'm a pretty straightforward person, and the thing is like that when I first met Amber, she introduced herself. I think we were in the commuter lounge at the University of Maine. And I was just heard her name, and I was like, oh, I had a dog named Amber, and she died during the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. I was clearly not like hitting on Amber with that. That wasn't a pickup line. But that was like, I just, something I thought of like while I was talking to her, like, oh yeah, I had a dog named Amber. So I left an impression on Amber.
And then he proceeded to tell me how they thought that she had eaten rat poison.
Yeah. Probably not the best pickup line.
And it was the season finale of the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air in particular.
Yeah, it was the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. It was the season finale. It was a pretty sad situation.
So that's how I met Brian.
Yeah. So, I guess I leave an impression on people sometimes. All right, folks, that's all the time we have for today. I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, consider giving me a like. If you didn't, consider giving me a dislike. Also, consider saying something in the comments below. What do you think of the new lighting situation? I threw up an additional light, and now Amber doesn't look so dark anymore. I realized after sitting, because I posted a video to Amber's channel. It's us doing some more Reddit. So if you want to see another one where Amber and I are reading Reddit together, hop over to Amber's channel. But I'm extremely dark in that. I look like I'm in the shadows. I didn't realize how bad it was because I think Amber, was a little less dark than I was in some of those videos, but I was really dark, and I'm like, yeah, I guess I actually probably need to get Amber a light. So Amber has a light on her side. We can make shadow puppets. I don't know. We can't really make shadow puppets.
Yeah, it's not very good.
No, there are no shadow puppets here. Sorry. I lied.
That's what you can give 20 likes for.
Yeah. If I get 20 likes, then I'll make shadow puppets. Tune in next time if you like to shadow puppets. It'll be Shadow Puppet Brian.
That'd actually be funny.
Yeah, I'll bring out a puppet and then I'll read Reddit with a puppet there. Yeah.
Sir Caddington.
Yeah, Sir Caddington. If this video gets 50 likes, I'll bring out a sock puppet cat to do the next reading Reddit, and then yeah, how's that sound? Stretch goals.
Yes.
People, stretch goals. I guess it actually should be a reasonable goal. Okay, I'll make it a reasonable goal. If this video gets 25 likes by tomorrow, I'll read Reddit with a sock puppet tomorrow. I'll have to dig out the sock puppet if that's the case, but so yeah, realistically, Yeah, I'll read Reddit with a sock puppet. I don't know. Like the video. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you all tomorrow.